Hi, this is Rebecca and Josue Soto, and you are watching Married in Real Estate Live.
Hello, welcome to the Married in Real Estate Show. In this show, we highlight power couples working together in real estate. Today, we have a couple celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary. Rebecca, tell us a little bit about our couple.
I'm excited to share about our couple today, but before we do that, I would like to encourage you to share this out. And if you're watching on YouTube and you like what you're seeing, please subscribe and hit the bell. So our next couple, I'm so excited to share this couple with you guys. They're an amazing couple. We met them earlier this year, and so exciting. Today is their 20th wedding anniversary. So let's welcome Jackie and Edgar Aguero, right? It's Aguero. Let's bring them on. There we go. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Married in Real Estate Show. How are you today?
We are doing good. We are even doing even better because we're on this show today and right on our anniversary.
How wonderful is that? I'm so excited that you guys decided to share this wonderful day with us. And so tell us a little bit about how you guys met, how you got started, and any plans for this evening?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think I spontaneously opted us in a country band tonight at 7. And Edgar didn't have any idea. So I was like, let's get the tickets and let's just go hear some country music.
We're gonna cowboy it up.
We're gonna cowboy it up a little bit. So hopefully that will go good.
I love it. That sounds like a fun time. We were just in Dallas with you guys not long ago, and we got to go. Where was that spot?
We went to the Stockyards in Fort Worth. It was awesome.
That was a lot of
fun.
fun.
We didn't know. I've heard so much about it though. But yeah,
man. The Stockyard. So it was. It's a little area there in Dallas that is, or actually that's Fort Worth. Sorry, guys, Fort Worth, and it's country western, and it's just gorgeous. So if you're in the area, you haven't been there, that's a nice spot to see out in Dallas.
It's really, really nice, man.
We're definitely gonna have to see that. We left right after the Awesome Build conference, and we should have stayed a day or two later.
Yeah, just to enjoy it.
Yeah, just to enjoy it.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that. But tell us a little bit more about you. How did you guys meet?
Well, Edgar always has a funny twist to this story, but we met, and I know I'm gonna give it to you real. So we met at a it's so funny. It's called the Rodeo back like 20 years ago, Far West Rodeo, and it was a country bar. So I went out with my girlfriends and we went to go dancing because we always used to just love to dance on the weekends. And sure enough, we're all dancing and I see this guy just like standing there looking at me. Were you looking at me? I think he was looking at me. I never asked a guy to dance. It was just so weird until I saw him and I said, would you like to dance with me? And I must have had like some cocktails, because I was very brave at that time. And sure enough, he said yes. And we started dancing, like we just like went all out.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a Cinderella story because I went with my girlfriends and that night I took off a little early. So he went to go get me a cocktail and I disappeared for the rest of the night. Like he never found me. And
I feel like I got played a little bit, right? So, like here I am just playing these great skills of dancing moves that I got, and then she puts this move on me, and I go get the beverages, and she's gone. But it was almost she almost nailed the story. I wasn't looking at anywhere. I was just walking, minding my own business. She went out of her way to say like, "Hey, come here," and I said, "Okay, well." that looks cool. It looks promising, a little different. You know, you get to but
Oh my gosh.
so yeah, that's how it went down, guys.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's her story and his story. Let's just say that.
That's it, right?
Oh my gosh. And so therefore from there, we never saw each other again. And then my cousin was his best friend, and he invited her to go dancing in Las Cruces because he went to college at New Mexico State. And she invited me, and she's like, come with me. I don't want to go by myself. So I'm like, sure, I'll go with you. And we took off to Las Cruces, an hour away from El Paso. And lo and behold, he opens the door, and there's Edgar sitting there. And this was like a couple months afterward.
Oh yeah.
From there, it was history.
Oh my
20 years
God.
later. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool, man.
How wonderful is that? How sweet.
It was definitely different, right? But it was really crazy because I mean,
Exciting, a whirlwind.
you know, my buddy goes, hey, I got so her cousin coming in, and I was like, well, that's cool, but I got to study. Right? And I couldn't, and it was funny too because I couldn't even find my ID. So I was like, I'm not gonna go tonight. You know, it's a random Tuesday. Long story short, that ID came out of nowhere. I knew where it was, and so we ended up going. And when I found out it was her, I was like, oh my god, like that is her. So all of a sudden, I went crazy, you know. And I was like,
I have to go.
so then we went back to dancing. So dancing's always been our thing, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. And you know, two hearts can definitely connect during a dance like that. And what a way to have your first interaction together. And of course, you're going to want to be desperate to see get to know that person, see them again. When am I going to see them? Oh, how wonderful.
Exciting. It was exciting.
So then you started dating. How long did you guys date for?
So we dated for about 4 or 5 years,
Mhm.
and then we had Soraya, which is my daughter who's in Chicago right now, right?
Okay.
And then all the kids just started happening. Like, it was just like boom, 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 boom. And I was just pregnant my whole pregnancy.
And all the kids just started happening.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. You know.
So
And
wait, how many kids do you have?
so we have four kids. We have 3 girls and 1 boy.
At the end.
Okay.
Oh,
And their ages? What are their ages?
So Alyssa is 24. She's the one that just recently joined us in real estate. And then we have Miss Soraya. She is 18. And then we have Ashley. She's the little entrepreneur with the strawberries. She's 16. And then we have JJ, which is my son. And he's my baby, my everything. He's 11.
That's super sweet, super sweet. Any pets?
Max.
We have Mr. Max. So
Okay.
he's at home. Yeah.
He's at home.
Yeah, we wanted to see your doggy. I know she's around. He or she? Yeah.
Mine is somewhere around here, and hopefully she won't pop in. We were trying to get the chair back from her a moment ago. She didn't want to move.
I love it. It
Oh
reminded me of that. Did you guys see Bill Belichick when he was doing the draft? And he would
no. Oh, yeah, his dog, yeah.
his dog's name's Nike. He'd be right there.
Yep.
Dogs that look pretty cool. It reminded me of just like that right now.
No, he was just
Oh,
right there at the
that's
chair.
funny.
He didn't want to move from there.
How funny is that? Oh my Lord. All right. So fast forward, you guys, you connected, you're having babies. Are you in real estate at this time, or like, how did that come about?
So that came about when I met Edgar. I joined the sheriff's office here in El Paso. So I told him the craziest thing is I was working as a cocktail waitress, and at the same time I was applying for the sheriff's department here in El Paso. So I hadn't been called, and I was wanting to do law enforcement, and after I had graduated college. And so I finally get the call from the sheriff's department, and he was like so happy because he's like, I don't like you working the cocktails. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I jump into the sheriff's department. I make it. So I become a detention officer at 20. So from 20 to 25 years old, I served the sheriff's office here in El Paso, meanwhile having my babies. And from there, I knew that there at the sheriff's department, I was doing a lot of shift work. So I was constantly working and missing birthdays and holidays, Thanksgivings, until I said, you know what, Edgar, like, I am so unhappy. Like, I cannot stand just to leave another birthday or Thanksgiving, and
just a lot of missed family events,
missed time, and it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a very, very huge family here in El Paso, and we're very, very close to each other. So that really, really tore me apart. And I said, I gotta do something. Like, I have to do something. And I would drive down this main street, and it was this little pink building that I remember that was the real estate academy in El Paso. And I would always drive by it and look at it and keep driving, and then look at it and keep driving, until I said, I'm gonna stop and ask them what classes are there for me to take, because I was interested, how people were selling at that time back then, 15 years ago. And I said, I think I'm gonna try that. And I thought about my family right away, because that's what I wanted, was to be more with my kids and my husband. And so I jumped in. I stopped one morning after work, and they said, this is what it is. It's 6 classes. You can take the day classes 8 to 5 every day, or the night classes. Well, I came back and I told Edgar the itinerary of that schedule, and he's like, you're crazy. Like, I don't know if you should do that. And well, I'm going to take the chance on it. So I did. I signed up, and I would literally go to every class either in the morning to like 5 p.m. or I just worked my butt off to get those 6 classes, took my state and my national, and I passed it. And that's when I told Edgar, like, I'm giving my 2 weeks. Like, that's it. I'm going full time.
Just like that.
What year was this? What year was this?
This was 2007, going into 2007.
Love it. 2007. It's interesting, because a lot of people similarly go through what you do. Nobody wakes up and says, I want to be a real estate agent, right? Well, not as a child anyways. And then all of a sudden you see the industry, or maybe it's a friend that introduced it to you. And so you take the class, but knowing that you want to give your family a better life, right? It's really just trying to, what can I do different so that I can have a career and still be able to serve my family, right?
Exactly. I think that's what happened then, is that my family was number one, even at such a young age that I was there at the sheriff's office to now. So I knew that I had to do something completely different to be able to get that time back with my kids, because it was just missed time, important times. Yep. So I mean, I come very strongly from that 5 years, because I feel like it took a lot from me. While I was serving the sheriff's department. Right.
And so at that time, what was Edgar doing? Was he in a different career? What's he doing?
Yeah, so I was a little bit of everything. I started off working with AT&T, and that was my lifetime goal. Worked for the Southwestern Bell companies for years, great benefits. I always tell one of my kids, Ashley, I go, you were free because we didn't have to pay anything. That's how good those benefits were, right? Mm-hmm. And so I said, I'm indebted to that company. And I used to make a joke. I said, you know what? I'm never going to leave here until they kick me out. Well, long story short, they kicked me out. And so at that point, I had gotten I did have a degree, and I wanted to get into, my whole thing was always to get into like medical device. And so went and did that. And once I, got into the hospitals and being in boring cases that lasted 3 to 4 hours, it was just, craziness. But that's what I did. And it was a good experience. But I knew that there was much more out there, right? And so fast forward, I want to say it was 2017. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2016. And I was coming from Cleveland, actually. And I made a most craziest decision ever to basically quit on my own on the plane. The only job I ever left without giving any 2 weeks or anything like that. I just said, I'm not doing it. I didn't even tell Jackie. So the funny story, I show up the next Monday to our we had just joined. I joined Keller Williams. So we were there, and I was, making morning calls, and Jackie goes, "Wow, I really like how you showed up this morning. That's cool. How is that affecting your work?" I go, "Oh, it's not. We're good." And I have to always share this story because nobody ever believes it. But Jackie's like, "Hey, I noticed we didn't get a deposit this Friday. Like, are you still working at that other company? I go, yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to check with it. I still didn't want to tell her, right? But so I made sure I had, deals pending and all that good stuff before I said, okay, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I've been gone for a while now. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, on my way back home, this is what I did. And so I said everything that I wanted to do with that company, I'm going to do for us here in your business. And that's how Edgar joined Jackie.
Yeah. That's when you joined in and you guys became a team. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that. Are you guys enjoying it? Has it always been like great, or do you guys have challenges? Tell us a little bit about how you guys work together.
Well, when he first came in with me, it was a bit of a challenge because I was stuck at a place where I felt like, oh my gosh, like, how am I ever going to grow myself? How can Edgar come in and help me? And I was still new to being, not new, but I was still a solo agent all those years, just by myself. I was part of big, huge teams at Keller Williams, but then I ventured to myself. So when Edgar came in the picture, it was still a big of a mess. I was still a hot mess. I'm still a hot mess right now because I did not know where Edgar was supposed to be, like, in the real estate business. Was he just like my business partner? Was he going to just help me with the buyers and become a buyer's agent? And I had an assistant during that time, one assistant, and she would help me with all my deals. And so when he came in, we would just look at him and be like, okay, where is he going to be? It was very tough the first couple of years because we were like kind of clashing, like it was just, I don't know. It's just like, okay, do you want me to take this buyer? Do you want me to take this listing? Do I take this listing? Do you take this buyer? So we didn't have everything in line, Now that we have, my assistant that was with me for 3 years, she ended up becoming a realtor because I had her become a realtor, and that didn't work out. I made the biggest mistake because she got her license and then took off on me after being with 3.5 years. So I think what really put me and Edgar into place is that we had nobody. We didn't have an admin anymore. And we just literally like grew together, but we were still being the TC, we were still being the admin, and we were still trying, we figured out our roles eventually. And that was just basically doing everything together.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, when you first come in, there's not always those clear defined roles, right? And you have to figure out where you are, right? Your strengths, and kind of discover each other's strengths, right? And how you guys kind of fit together as a team. And it's a challenge for a lot of people, and not just couples, anyone wanting to team up. It's not always an obvious on how to be a harmonizing team, right? So it's so important to be able to have that clarity of what your goals are, and be able to kind of define those roles so that you can work like a well-oiled machine, right?
For
Yeah.
sure.
Exactly.
And
That is so true.
No, for sure. And I think even like when you define the role within the office or what it is in our business, I think that's always been it's gotten a lot better with time. But then the next thing, and this is, I'm sure you guys get this all the time, is like, how do you guys do it when we're done here, right? We go home. Now we have to be mom and dad, husband and wife. It's juggling.
Yeah.
How do you turn it off?
When do you turn it off? When is enough? And then when does that show start on? Because it just keeps going. It's kind of funny, but yeah.
Balance is another tricky thing that most couples experience. It's really hard because for most of us who are in the industry, it's very easy to become a workaholic. You're working all hours of the day, right? Because you get clients that call you at night and some that are calling you in the morning, and you don't want to miss a beat with any of your clients, and you find yourself sacrificing still a lot of family time too.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And we still feel those growing pains.
Yeah. So how did you guys find that balance? What did you guys do different to be able to kind of be able to have that work life during the day and then come home and be parents?
So believe it or not, this just recently happened like 1.5 years ago, where we said enough is enough. like we have to balance each other out and get a TC. So we ended up, somebody educated us, you need that TC, Jackie. You need that TC. So the TC has alleviated so much because we were so used to doing our own deals, getting them through A to Z, closing the transactions that we were doing. And it literally relieved us so much of that piece. And then we were able to hire an assistant that can alleviate all the other little things, the very small, minor things. And so,
just being able to leverage, right?
Now we're learning to leverage. And that was one of the main reasons why, we joined this company, because we were stuck. We were stuck. We did not know what to do. Like we didn't know how to grow. We didn't know how to hire. We didn't know who would have been a good buyer's agent to help us. So we now have like 3 agents with us. But now the more we speak to wonderful people like you and everybody, you're literally transitioning that to become better and balance each other.
Yesterday, and you hit it right on the dot. We were interviewing somebody, and they mentioned that as well, right? You find that you got to find those people that you kind of want to emulate, find out what they're doing that they're being very successful at, and that's been the biggest thing for me and Jackie is finding great couples such as yourself, because you guys have been through the same growing pains, a little different or similar in different ways, but we can relate. And so when we talk about those things, it's like, oh, cool, let's go cheat off the good ones. So
I love it. I love to be able to mastermind. To me, that is so priceless. And this is a journey of growth, right? So in the beginning, everyone pretty much starts as a solo agent. And the goal is just to start creating that database, create that pipeline of business and not watch it, but just create it, make it grow, right? And so once you have that, then the next step, because you're going to get to the top of your skill set. So you either need more coaching or you need to start, actually for sure, you need to start delegating some of those jobs, right? So once you have so much work that you're like, I can't keep doing paperwork because that's not the best use of my time. It's time to hire someone else who can do that. And so that then opens up time for you to be able to get new business, right? Which is a better use of your time and more income producing activities. And then also you have more time to spend with your family, right? So even if you're not out with a new client, but that time is still valuable because now I have more time with my family. So that hire is important between that TC, the assistant, and then you kind of just keep expanding from there, right? Adding on new people so that you can keep growing and keep getting bigger and more business and be able to. I like it because I feel like as we're growing, we're opening opportunities for other people to have business as well, right?
Yeah.
Has that been your experience as well then?
I love that you said that because it's true. Like we interviewed David Bentek yesterday, and I think it is so true that he made a statement, and it stuck with me. Even in the shower, it was like, oh my God, he's so right. If you don't ASK, you don't
GET. No GET.
No GET. If you don't ask, you don't get. And
Absolutely.
I think that's where I was stuck because if I would ask, I still sometimes wouldn't get the answer from people. But now that I ask, we get because we have that open relationship like with you two and others that are willing to help us grow. And it's been a blessing because we've seen it. It's like he says, it's not a sprint, Jackie. This is an event. I mean, this is a process, not an event.
You learn as you go along, man. You're always gonna be able to tweak things, but the thing is, you have to begin it. You have to start it. In order for you to see where you're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
And we've all gone through it, man. We continue going through it, man. You just got to learn how to just say, okay, you know what? Maybe if we change it this way, it'll work a little bit better. But as long as you guys get in the clear picture of what's moving on, what's next for you guys is important,
Yeah, I think that's that there, Josue, is that it's just being open-minded to trying different things, right? Which, working with Miss Jackie here, it's kind of hard sometimes because I say, hey, I'm gonna throw in my 20 cents, right? But
don't do that. Don't do that.
So now I just say, hey, I'm gonna let you run the show. You do that, and
now you say, I'm going to show some properties. I'll be right back.
He's like, I'm gonna go put lock boxes. I'm like, lock boxes? Okay, I know what that means. Like, he's tired of me for the day. Like, and, you know,
those moments.
Yeah.
So now,
yeah.
challenges. I feel like when you get stuck, it's an opportunity to keep learning and growing. Right? If you didn't have challenges, you wouldn't be growing. You'd be just kind of stuck on that plane level, right? But how do you guys get past difficulties?
Well, like Edgar is the balancer. I'm like always I don't know if we go by disc assessments or whatever, but like the high energy, you know, one that wants to do like, let's do it. And he'll be the one like,
Don't do that now.
Oh, okay. Now. And he'll be like, well, Jackie, we really need to think about this. Like, should we do this? And I'm like, oh my God.
Hey, you know, it's funny. I'm laughing because I know what you're talking about.
Sounds like a driver, and he's that voice of
Rebecca
reason.
is like one that she wants to run, boy. And I'm like, oh, hold on a second.
Yes, that's Edgar. And Michelle's laughing.
We balance each other out.
So he says, like, we balance each other. And you know, it is true because I'm that one that's like, oh my God, well, we need to do this in order to excel here. And he balances us. So a lot of the times, how can I say it? I guess we just have to sit down and really evaluate it and see. I've become a little better about it on listening to his side because now he's just not listening to me anymore. He's just like overpassing me, like, we're not doing it. Or we're going to do this. So it's kind of bringing me to a little realization. Like there are some things that, you know, I'm not always right at, or I need to slow down. Right. So I think we talk about it a little more. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you guys are doing phenomenal, man. You know, congratulations on your 2 times ICON Award too, you guys, man. You guys are awesome, man.
Awesome.
You know, so you guys are doing wonderful. You know, I've seen you guys progress. I mean, we've known each other for a short period of time, but I've seen
and reaching some milestones.
Yeah.
You guys already closed, what is it, 100 transactions? Where are you guys at right now?
So, I know we just did our numbers yesterday, and we're on track to do 115 right now. And we've added 2 new agents, so it's a total like a 4, now 5 that we just brought in.
Good.
And it feels good, and you know, we're a smaller team, but I feel like Edgar said, this is a process, you know, and it's okay. We're just going to gradually get there as we go. Right, but this is where we're at right now, so we're excited about it.
Exactly. So, what advice do you have for any young couple or any couple wanting to get together, work in real estate together? What advice would you give them?
Oh my gosh, I'm the type, or I would just say, just go and do it. I mean, never take a day and think about things, right? Because the more we think about it, the more we fear it. We don't want to take that risk. We're scared. Everybody's always scared of something. Like I still get nervous, you know, at things. But like Tony Robbins says, is that you gotta tell your brain. You don't negotiate with it. You just do it. You just gotta get up and do it. No negotiation. So that's how I feel. It's just do it just the way I kind of did it. And I left. I was 20 and I was making, at that time, right, 2007, I was making like 40,000. I thought that was okay for a 20, 25-year-old and benefits. And I left all that because I took, you know, the leap of faith and the chance for my family. And that's what I did.
And I mean, that was valued much higher for you, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
You know,
I would give that to the new agents. Is just do it.
And then, you know, the couple, I think the biggest advice that I'd like to give is you got to identify what role you're going to play in the piece, right? Because if you're both going to come in here saying we're going to direct it together and we're always going to be on the same page, that's going to be a recipe for failure right out the gate. So one thing that I've learned is just kind of, you know, again, she's the visionary. I'm kind of more of the supporter. I said, I like where you're going with it. I don't like it. So now, you know, now in growing, I'm now able to tell her like, this is what I'm thinking on the bad side, but you know, I'm going to support you either way, and that's how we're going to jump in on it. But be ready to take on different turns. You know, I mean, that's the cool part of this whole ride is it's a roller coaster ride, and there's gonna be good times. And I always tell this to Jackie, you'd be surprised how many times you pick me up when I need it. I mean, that's not really like her role. Like for her, it's like you better be up every day. And I mean that in a good way, right? Like there's no time for letdowns, you know. And when I see her not be that way, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? You know, sometimes I wish I had that gene to be like, hey, girl, I'm not, you know, and I don't know if it's like our Hispanic culture where I'm like, oh, boy, is he sick today? You know, go ahead and stay in the bed. That kind of deal, you know what I mean? And
can you tell each other not to do anything?
Yeah, you know? And instead I should be like, hey, let's go, you know, but it's good.
Yeah. So what roles exactly do you guys play on your team?
So, well, now all these events, right, that we've been going to is, you know, I'm trying to define how I'm more of the listing agent here, and then everybody else is more the buyer's agent side. Okay. And it's been really good that way too. But with the events, I'm trying to slowly get myself out of the production so that I can give more to the team. Jose said that. Didn't you say that on the last? I think you said it in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to give it to your team. Give everything, you know. And because, you know, I'm trying to focus, and Edgar's trying to focus a little bit on the agent attraction side of it, but still meanwhile keeping the team healthy.
Yeah,
absolutely. You got to just keep trying to like tweak them here and there. You know, you already kind of have a clear vision. You want to eventually get out of production. Same as myself, and we're working towards it, man. We just hired a chief marketing officer that we're just going to be handling a lot of stuff, and we're just going to be able to kind of structure everything a little bit better, you know.
Help us to be better mentors and coaches. And so what's next for you guys?
What's next for us? We want to still continue to hit it hard as far as the growth with the team. I want to put more leadership in there, and Alyssa started a new mentorship program, so I want to support her there because her visions are so great. She reminds me of just like she has a young me, like she has that grit, she has that grace, and I want to support her in that, and the team with their other projects they have, and just give back to our community, be more involved with our community, and just keep growing.
I did see that in her. She's very ambitious. She wants to learn. I've seen that in her a lot. Because when you brought us over, when you brought me over, I seen how she was asking me questions. She was like really focused, like diving deep in, like I want to know everything about this.
She's got the best mentors, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Mom and dad.
Yeah, so I want to see everybody succeed and the team, and I think we have something super special in El Paso here. So hopefully we could grow it, trusting we could grow it more. Yeah.
I love what you guys are doing. I know that you guys are going to keep crushing it, reaching your goals. And I'm excited to keep up with you guys and keep masterminding together and watch your growth. But now going back to that wedding anniversary, what special plans do you guys have?
Edgar?
Well, it's funny, right? Because there was some already in play. So, I'll be a little secret because I got those coming on. But, a lot of our trips that, we want to kind of take with me and her kind of deal have been literally postponed because of all the different things that we've been putting together, for the business and for our family here, right, within our office. So long story short, it's long overdue. So, we got a little trip there. We'll go do some country dancing today. Maybe go eat something for sure, and get to enjoy it. Because now it's kind of weird because at our house we were used to having a full jam-packed home with all the kids there, and we always took them into consideration. Now we're down to 2, so now I just kind of figure it out. It's our turn.
It's like crickets in my house right now.
Same here.
Yeah, well,
same here.
It's time. It's really. Oh gosh, but you know what though? While I can understand that, because as you start getting that empty house, but now it's just time to enjoy that time together, right? So be spontaneous and to take the trip or go out on a special, dinner and dancing and just kind of enjoy each other's company. So
yeah, for sure.
Happy anniversary to you guys. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We're so honored that you would take the time to be with us today. We really appreciate you. And of course, wishing you lots of love and success, continued success as you guys continue growing. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Welcome.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys. We'll see you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.